Hello my doves and welcome to my temple. If you have found this video, then these messages are for you straight from the Holy Mother herself. So kind of settle in, get cozy. Let's take a deep breath. Okay. It's a good thing that we do this because there was a lot of talk today in the messages that I received about coming to center into that calm, serene place, that inner temple that you've created. And for those of you just joining me, my name is Jacqueline Seven Star. I'm a master tarot reader, oracle, and occasional scribe. I've been reading tarot professionally for over 16 years, but new to YouTube, new to Instagram. If you like this thread, I work with the Holy Mother. That is my preferred egregore and wellspring. So really the sacred path, Our Lady of Sorrow and Joy, and really the fires of transformation and walking the path in the most authentic, non-performative way. So if that sounds like your vibe, then you're definitely in the right place. And how I work is I have my tea in the morning and I come into my own temple and my own sacred space, and I draw down the light from the Holy Mother herself in communion with her and draw cards either from Oracle and Tarot and write down what I'm feeling, and kind of hold that in my body, in my vessel, and I write it down in my notebook. For those of you that do know me in real life, I always have a notebook nearby. And so again, I write these messages and I also draw these cards and kind of go off the cuff when I press record. So I just felt led to give a little more explanation about myself. So that's kind of where I decided to start. But let's go ahead and call in the Holy Mother once more, and then we'll get straight to the messages. Holy Mother, full of grace, to the cosmic mother of all, to the cosmic mother awakened in me, I call you down into this space so that we may transmit messages by your voice and in your sacred name. In my name I command, in your name I pray. So it is, so it is, so it is. Okay, let's kind of get straight into it. So I'm talking to somebody who has been walking a path a really long time. I'm really talking to someone who has mastery. This collective that I'm speaking to has been working at this a long time. You were a part of the souls that came down way before spiritualism even became a thing, before New Age was on anybody's minds. You started your work, or you started very early on in your path. Or I could be talking to someone who decided to take a very accelerated journey later in life. But the ultimate message is that you've been walking the mystery and seeking and opening yourself up to the divine and walking that labyrinth to true soul liberation. What does that mean? If I'm talking to you, I imagine you do know what that means. And that is signing up to open yourself up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to be as free as you possibly can, and to build the inner temple, to seed, to reveal all the light that was already there in its fullest expression. You removed all veils of illusions and all false things from your life and decided to root in truth. That is who I'm speaking to. So I'm always feel very privileged to talk to this level of vibration, this level of mastery, because it's a very solitary journey. And we talked a little bit about this in the previous videos, and I'm starting to notice we continue to layer on in more depth the messages from previous videos. So you may want to check out the ones that were recorded before this. But I really have a solitary individual. And the thing is, to be fully liberated, it is a solitary journey. because there's nobody that can teach you power and self-knowledge but yourself. There is nowhere that you can go. There is no one you can speak to fully root your truth as deep as it can go. You kind of have to take those steps alone. So this person that I'm speaking to, you have taken it as far as you possibly can take it, your faith. You've gone to the edge of darkness so far that there was no Holy Mother, there was no light, and there may be some karmic scars a little bit playing into your reality right now. It might be playing in how you're feeling, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I also, before I walk any further, I want to say that if you do find yourself listening to this video and not everything resonates, that's okay. There's something I've kind of learned along the path and even in my own journey, that sometimes there's one word, one sentence, or maybe even the entire video that was meant for you to hear. So if you're arguing with anything that I say in any way, or you're kind of squinting and you're like, I don't know, then most likely this isn't a full message for you. But if you're here, there is something for you. So I would tune into how you feel in your body when you hear it. When you know, you know. You know? Okay. So speaking of that solitary journey, we are focusing again on the heart chakra. There is some energetic work that is happening right now. And I'll even share with you, it's interesting, before I even sat down for messages, I was sitting down and meditating, and I simply could not seem to draw down the light like I usually can. I couldn't center into myself, focus on my third eye. It just felt like I felt the stress in my body and the tenseness, and like the light was going so many different ways, and I just felt heavy. And at first I was very confused and I wanted to give up a couple of times, but I just decided to be patient. I decided that I'm going to just accept how I was feeling and just keep going with patience. I was going to get to that level that I look for, which is feeling clear. I'm feeling the light turn on in my body, and feel it cleansing everything. And I just feel more like myself, more centered. And I could not get there on my own. And finally, a light bulb. I had an aha moment. I was like, oh, I hear you, Holy Mother. So I had this moment where I was just like, I let go. I can't seem to do this. I'm just going to surrender my entire body, my entire energetic body, and I'm just going to give it to the Holy Mother. You do this, you get this, because clearly I don't have it in me today. And that is when the light flooded in, and I just felt everywhere in my body where I could just open up and surrender and let go of all of this tension. And it was a huge lesson for me, and I want to share it with you because I think it could be very helpful for you too. Is sometimes the best thing that we ever possibly can do is just surrender. Just surrender it all to the light. Just surrender it all to the Holy Mother, and know that we have the most powerful ally in the world, and we can forget that. And the reason why we forget it, and I can relate to this, is the journey is long. And in the journey, there comes a time when we separate from the light. It's part of coming home. It's part of seeing that to fully express our light. There's a time where we must walk alone, and our faith is shaken, our heart is broken, and we come back in shambles. Like we've just been shattered, like you can't even imagine. And that is why I'm feeling for this collective to speak about all this heart healing that's happening. So that journey that you took with your faith, where it's brought you and where you went with it, it's heart-wrenching in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of growth and there's a lot of refinement, and sometimes there's not a lot of harvest, especially for those acolytes or hierophants at your level. So I feel you, I see you, and guess what? We get to come back into the light and more expression and more allowing than we ever had before, to be able to soften even more. And if you're like me, if you hear that message and sometimes you get a little frustrated, especially if you spent that time in the gate where you separate from the light in order to find your true power. The power that is only yours, that is yours by birthright, cannot be fully realized and fully owned and reclaimed until you walk those steps all by yourself in full darkness. And I'm not really sure I was going with that, but what I think I want to bring it back to is that it's a heartbreaking experience, and you may tune into your body, you may still have some of these karmic scars from it. And not just that, those of you that are meant to work this path, I call it the left-handed pillar. And I know the Holy Mother kind of, like, I'm joking a little bit, but I have a feeling she's like, don't get into that. But just for those of you that may know about this, this is Jacqueline speaking. It's kind of like the left-handed path, where you work in darkness to bring to turn on your own light, and then you are light, and then you're in your light journey. It's like the things I've learned is there is no reclamation until that shadow path has been walked. So just in my experience, just in the things that I've read, that's where I'm speaking. Now, is there possibly paths out there where there is no shadow? Maybe so. And maybe we are the ones that are literally walking the shadow as hard and as hardcore as we are because of what we've inherited on earth. And we are going to make it a lot lighter and a lot easier with the knowledge for those moving forward. And I do think that resonates for me. I do think that's kind of the case. I don't ever think that this level of intensity was ever needed, but I think it's the medicine of our time that almost called us into that. So I just want to get that out of the way at first. But I want to go back to the heartbreak. So there's heart healing happening right now where you're able to soften and get into your flow a little bit better, and surrender to the light. And I remember that thread that I had where I get irritated sometimes hearing about that, because I'm like, do you know where I've been? Do you know the darkness that I went to in order to reclaim my light? And you are telling me to soften when I had to walk those steps alone with no answer. It can be difficult to trust again and to be fully in our faith and to fully relax again. But it's part of the journey. It's part of the path. And so, yes, you've come back around where you get to grow your faith more. You get to soften even more, surrender even more those defenses to let love in. Because someone like you has been on a journey where maybe they've been heartbroken in love from your communities by the Holy Mother herself, again, that darkness journey and separation, or just by life in general, you've been heartbroken. And so this time right now is about learning how to trust in the Holy Mother again, trust in your faith again, trust in God again, and feel in your body where you feel tense, and feel even when you are making choices for yourself and you're searching for your joy. Think about that powerful ally that has your back and is so ready now that you've walked your path to and you fully realized your light and you're fully open to support you in every way. So that unconditional trust is kind of the order of the day right now. Trust in yourself and trust in the Holy Mother, trust in God, and softening those defenses if you can, and healing your heart from those past heartbreaks. So You may be feeling very emotional. It's very possible. Or you may be like, yeah, I feel a little tender, but I'm all right. And that's great. So I just feel that there's really some refinement there to heal your heart, to open up even more, to more experience, to the fullness of your being, so that in this life, you experience profound joy and deep fulfillment. You are meant to be a testimony for the Holy Mother, experiencing herself through you, that you can reclaim yourself and your joy and your inheritance and share it with others. So try, maybe do a little bit of meditation every day to see if you can surrender to the light and to the Holy Mother. If you need help with it, you can reach out to me, JacquelineSevenStar.com. I have a chat message and just say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me with this meditation? I'm more than happy to. You can follow me on Instagram at Jacqueline7star and DM me. Also, if you need help with a specific meditation of how to open yourself up and surrender and drawing down that light. Okay. So first message done, and that is about the heart healing and the heartbreak and softening and lowering your defenses to really open yourself up to love again, from community, even in relationships, with passions and yourself. So this is about love, girl. So it's like love in all forms. So the other part of this, and I love this message just because I'm an Aries and a Sagittarius moon. So, I mean, I kind of like to be nonconformist in general, but I also got this message from the Holy Mother about taboo. So that means that you are really not supposed to follow convention. And that's another thing about the heart. What else does the heart help us do? It helps us tune into it, to our true feelings. Our heart is a portal to the truth and your own soul's truth. It has nothing to do with the moral standards of our time or society or convention. So your job from hearing this message is to ask yourself, how can you be legitimately, unapologetically you without thinking about anybody else? And that can be anything. How you choose to walk in your day, or what you wear, or how you want to express yourself. This is really about going all in to your fullest expression and not really caring about what's going on in society. When you walk the heart's way, if you walk the way of soul and you're fully lit up within with that light, there is absolutely no door closed to you. It's unlimited. So it's about opening your heart to that unlimited world and making choices from that place, and being taboo, meaning those things like, ooh, I probably shouldn't do that. Like shame, judgment, criticism has no place here for a soul at your level. So I'm really excited to be giving this message as an invitation for you to draw yourself out more, and do things that really light you up, no matter what it is. Even if it's a little taboo, you're following your heart because you know that the ultimate truth is the one that's in your heart and not what anybody else says. That's your power. You didn't just walk the edge of darkness for nothing. I mean, are you going to be a muted version of yourself? No. Okay then. So commit yourself to co-creating with the Divine Mother on your life path. Go full force into your passion. Let nothing stop you. And what? Money? Who cares? What are my in-laws going to think? Who cares? What are my followers going to think? Who cares? The point is to do what is you're feeling in your heart, because that is the thing that is your personal code, that is part of the harmony of our universe. And if you're not walking it, then we're not winning. Nobody's winning. Now, the people that aren't fully rooted in themselves might have something to say about that, but that's because they haven't walked the journey you have. And honestly, I feel like I'm saying things that you already know, but I'm hoping this is just some extra spice and inspiration for you to go further and to go deeper into your expression and your passion, because I'm feeling a little bit of hesitation. So there's like a little bit of like writer's block or like will block. What I mean by that is like the masculine energy is a little bit like, I'm gonna do this, and then like, ooh, wait a second. Should I? I don't know. Is this the right? Oh, yeah. You have a little bit of that. Just go for it. I mean, just go with it with what you want to do. And yes, you might have to temper your emotions. Yes, you might have to calm to that serene place. And wonderfully, I've told you about that neat trick of just surrendering to the light. That should get you right into the center where you need to be. And then you'll know exactly what to do. What writer's block? What hesitation? I know what I'm doing. And I also want to go a little bit deeper into what I like to call your codex. Also, for those of you who don't know me, I'm obsessed with the architecture of the soul and everyone's unique blueprints, because when you come down into Earth, you come down with your genetic DNA, right? But you also come down with the lifetime of your mini reincarnation soul. So your lifetime souls, I like to call it. And not just that, then you come in with your specific personality of where the celestial bodies were at the time of your birth. So you have these like three parts to you that I like to dig into. And there's a particular type of code of the person that I'm talking to that has to do with the Hierophant and the Hermit. So I'm going to show you the cards. So in tarot, there's a Hierophant and there's a Hermit. I'm using Nature Tarot, so it's a cardinal, and I'm sorry, I don't know what the Hermit is. It kind of looks like a sparrow, but anyway. So what is the archetype of a hermit? What is the archetype of the Hierophant? So the Hierophant is somebody who's the keeper of the keys. That means you guard the gate between heaven and earth. You have mastered the ability to center yourself in meditation and in your own ritual and practices, and you share those rituals and practices with others. The Hierophant guides people to their own unique song, not just their own. So there's somebody who has done the work, the great work, in order to find their own unique soul, and then they teach others how to do it, how to tune into themselves with their intuition, and how to lead a spirit life. So that's the Hierophant. A lot of people in tarot will tell you it's kind of like the guru. I don't agree with that. It's rooted so much more in mystery and mystery teachings than people realize. And I feel like guru kind of takes away from the work that the Hierophant does. Like the guru just kind of seems like they were born this way and they were like blessed to be this guru. But the Hierophant has that mastery for a reason, because they've done the work themselves and they are a great teacher. So you are a great teacher. So you have that Hierophant archetype, and that means you have the ability to tune into spirit and teach others how to do the same, and whatever flavor is yours. So that is one of the codes that you're working with, and you might actually work in deep mystical teachings. So we can do another video about what that means. If you are like, what are you talking about, Jacqueline? What are these secret mysteries? Just send me a comment down below and I'll do a video to kind of go over it. But what is the other archetype of you? You are also the Hermit. So again, I was talking about that solitary journey. The Hierophant is the Hermit as well. You can't be a great teacher unless you've walked the journey yourself. So you're somebody's code that came in this lifetime to experience every single gate to self-mastery, how to draw down that energy and how to find the light in darkness. and then share it with others, that lamplight of knowledge. So if you're watching this, you are a hermit and hierophant, meaning you have that light that you are meant to share with others and teach in whatever expression that might look like. But also, you have the archetype, and everybody has this archetype, by the way, but it's really rare for people to walk this path to full liberation, self-knowledge, gnosis, and mastery. So we have the sun. So the sun is the unifying force between our physical and our mental and our spiritual souls. So it is like the fuel to everything. I like to look at it as that is our birthright and our light. And if we've done the work and we've walked the path, we've gone through all the gates to reveal that light more and more till it just radiates off of us. And then we take that light as the hermit and we share it with others and we teach. So this is the blueprint of the person that I am speaking to right now. So yeah, it's not an easy path to do this yourself, and it's very rare to go through all those gates, because I'm somebody who studied each of the planetary gates to full gnosis, and oh, it is not a cakewalk. So congratulations that I'm speaking to somebody that has taken this journey or is on that journey, and you're just learning now. Oh, that makes so much sense. Yes. So the question is, if I know this about myself, what now, right? Well, the beauty is you have the ability to surrender to soul, to spirit every morning, every day, and just feel resistance and defenses melt and get to that beautiful center where you feel clear and focused. And then that step will naturally reveal itself to you. If it doesn't, then it's just, don't worry about it. It will come to you when the moment is right. And that is the key to remember for those of you who are watching. If you don't have certainty, that's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing. Remain in your center and it will find you. Okay, so there's a couple of other messages that kind of came out towards the end, and it was body changes. So I actually don't know if this was intended, but I think it is. I'm sitting with it because it flew out of the deck with another card, and I'm like, when that happens, sometimes I'm like, is this message really meant for me, for the collective? And I've felt it in my body, and I feel like it's really true. And the reason why is because if we're talking about heart healing, and we're talking about recovering from heartbreak, we're also talking about the nervous system. This is what really frustrates me. A lot of people don't talk about when you are removing veils of illusions and you are going through awakenings. It is so much energy. And a lot of the times, what brings us to our fullest awakenings are really big disruptions and really big heartbreaks. And they can wreak havoc on your nervous system. There has to be a recalibration of your brain. So there are changes that will happen in your hormones and your nervous system. So you may need extra support with that, and that's okay. What I got was my main message to give to you is to remain optimistic. You're not doing anything wrong. I promise you. It is just an entire rewiring of your biology. No big deal, right? So it feels like you're having to reestablish certain synapses and connections. So there's recovery and rejuvenation happening in your body. And what I'm hearing is find physical exercises that you are excited by to kind of aid the body in circulation and to help some. So what happens during these great awakenings and heartbreaks is our dopamine and our serotonin get so out of whack. And so physical activity can really help that naturally. There are certain herbs that you can take. So what I'm suggesting is for you to maybe say a prayer to the Holy Mother to help guide you naturally to the things that would specifically support you with that dopamine, that serotonin, and your nervous system. Just remember to have patience with it, and I get to get the exciting message that you're so close to being in your new normal, okay? Like, it's just, there's some things establishing. Okay. The other part of it is the total leap of faith that's happening. So this was emphasized 3 or 4 times during this reading, so this is why I'm probably sounding a bit like a broken record, but this is all about trust. This is where you're gonna have to trust more than you've ever trusted before, because when you are walking your life from your heart and doing the things only you feel passionate about, that your body will allow you to do because it excites you, then you need more faith than ever, because the world that we live in, there are systems in place that are specifically programmed to make you think that you're doing it wrong. But baby girl or dude, you're not doing it wrong. I promise you. If you're living a heart-centered, soulful life and you are carrying that light in the full gnosis, full self-knowledge, you are walking and co-creating with the Divine Mother herself, then you need a lot of faith and you need a lot of trust. So I'm here to tell you to keep trusting that there are miracles along the way. So, don't take my word for it. Let's take a look at it visually. So we have stepping into power. Oh, let's do it like this. We have gates of triumphs. Can you see this weathered individual, maybe the hermit perhaps, with the lantern, coming out of solitary and that crazy journey and heading down to that gate of triumph? And then what do we have? Miracles. So what happens when you have gnosis, when you have walked all the 7 gates and you're fully liberated of mind, body, and soul? Well, you get miracles, because there is divine assistance like you would not believe, because the Holy Mother is celebrating. She's giving you the medal. She's like, woo, yes, this beautiful, beautiful soul has fully realized himself or herself. And now we get to have some fun, because she's not blocking me. He's not blocking me. I can fully bring down the miracles and give momentum to what you're doing, because it's true, because my heart is your heart and you're walking the journey and being testimony. And so she brings the fireworks. Otherwise, what is the point, right, of this challenging, harrowing experience that we all go through? So let's leave it at that. If there's something that you could hold in your heart and take away from this beautiful message from the Holy Mother, is that you've seeded that light, you have that gnosis, you're lowering your defenses to live your love, and you're not holding back. And that's when the Holy Mother can really do her work with you. So keep going, be taboo, be authentically yourself. You went through the fires of transformation for a reason. And man, am I excited to share that with you. And also, there are not many of us out here, many of us out there, or at least that's what I feel sometimes. Maybe you're like me and I'm just like, how many other people have been tested? How many other people do this work? How many people are this clear and then suddenly find themselves alone? So maybe comment and let me know that I'm not alone, or maybe the Holy Mother will surprise me and take this message and be like, everybody who has done this work and has that gnosis, they're seeing this message to hear it. And I'll be like, I'm not alone. That is my hope and my joy. So I'm gonna sign off here. I also sign off and say TESHARE. So just really quick, I'm also what I call a celestial architect, and that means that I study Hebrew because I believe in the beginning there was a word, and the Supreme Being themselves uttered 72 words of 3 Hebrew letters to create the reality of Earth. Anyone, 64 hexagrams of I Ching, 64 codons of DNA. Anyway, the point is, I learned Hebrew because it is what I believe the programming and voice of God. And this word came to me, TESHARE, and that is Tav Shin Shin Resh. And it basically means the Holy Mother's light in mastery and choosing from that place. There's a lot more that goes into it, I promise, but that's the best that I can describe it as. And that's why I sign off with that, because I believe that those who are here and that hear these messages are those who are meant to walk the journey, walk through the fires of transformation, and rise in joyful fire. So TESHARE. So that's what I like to sign off on. So now you know. So TESHARE. The flame in me walks beside the flame in you, and may you rise in joyful fire.